Wild, weird, amazing, and caught on video. This week on Wild and Weird Amazing Videos, we've outdone ourselves. Motorcycle maniacs racing on every surface known to man. Russian villagers. Those lucky stiffs are living in the ruins of the Soviet missile program. Hedgehogs. Just when you thought they were extinct already, they're sniffing around our ankles again. Haute couture made of fish skins. I'm telling you, you shan't be disappointed. And they're off in a pack, like a wild pack of animals or a pack of cards. They're real pack animals, these cycling buddies. Hell's Angels are tough, yeah, when there's 100 of them. But nothing's more fun than riding in the mud. Ask any racer. It's the best time. It just is. Don't ask me why. I'm not trying to proselytize. I'm just telling you the truth, folks. The NHL, that's right, the National Hockey League, has been considering allowing their players to ride motorcycles. This is being taken into consideration, along with a big glass of sherry. More riders get killed going over speed bumps in 1 year than have been killed not going over speed bumps. And for those who missed the Cold War, the Soviet missile program, and the late great Nikita Khrushchev, cuddle up for this bedtime story. The world's ex-First Army made a lot of nuclear tests in this town in Russia. Rocket heads and shattered missile bodies are left abandoned in the streets. A godsend for the population.
Мала, невелика, не мала, да стоит, не могу лела.
When the first nomad tribes came to this region in the 16th century, they couldn't know that they had chosen the wrong place to settle and that the achievements of technical development would literally fall on their descendants' heads. For the sky in this region is full of the different rockets launched from the nearby base. When they first started shooting the rockets, they fell on the electric cables, but they sometimes fell on the village houses, too. The village of Dolgashoi lies 1,500 kilometers north of Moscow on the White Sea. Once parts of a rocket actually fell on a villager. There was a time when the reindeer couldn't even walk about, as the sharp edges of abandoned rockets cut them, and consequently many died from infection. But the villagers didn't panic. They soon found ingenious ways of turning this man-made curse from heaven to their advantage. The metal from the body of the rockets is a valuable and practical material. This material is very easy to work with. It's easy to cut, easy to saw, it's light, it's strong, it doesn't rot. The only thing wrong with it is that if you bend it in 90 degrees, it breaks. But that's not a major problem. Sergei insulated his sauna with it before installing the wooden walls. Now it's much more economical. This is a homemade toilet. We can't get new ones here, so we make our own. In this land of permanent ice, a well-built cellar is crucial. Who would have supposed that there was a rocket buried in this cellar? But don't worry, the engine and explosives have been removed. The rocket body is an excellent insulator against humidity and warmth. In the summer, it's a perfect fridge where meat doesn't go bad. And in winter, vegetables don't freeze. Mice and rats are kept away by the solid metal and the heavy lid that closes the secret bunker. Perfect! The villagers help each other out a lot. Sergei's neighbor makes boats. He can't even remember how many he's built, but he provides all kinds of boats for the whole region. I go over it like this lots of times, and then I bend it on the sides. I use a different model every time I bend it, and slowly the boat takes shape. The boats are, of course, supplied with matching metal paddles. The variety of objects which can be made out of rockets depends only on the villager's imagination. Dogs, cats, and horses have always been man's faithful companions. How can hedgehogs have been so neglected? The German family has decided this must change. Tens of thousands of animals are killed on German roads every year. Hedgehogs are the animals most affected by cars because they're small and slow. And when a female hedgehog is killed, her babies soon die of starvation. But fortunately, the baby hedgehogs have a fairy godmother, Johanna Dorschner.
Der ganze Igel fasziniert mich.
I live with hedgehogs every day, and it's really an animal that fascinates me. And you don't need gloves to hold them. They don't prick. They have a hairy skin, that's all.
Die hat eben raues Fell. Die haben bei mir keine Stacheln.
Every morning, Johanna hunts along the roads for little orphans to take in. She puts them in a specially adapted cabin, the perfect place to spend winter, especially as Johanna sees to their every need, no matter how long it takes.
Och, komm mal her. Morgens 5:30, also stehe ich auf.
Every morning I get up around 6, and at 6:30 I'm in the cabin. I go in again a last time at midnight, and then I can finally go to bed. And the next day it starts all over
Wenn
again.
dann der Wecker geht, fängt alles wieder von vorne an.
Johanna's love for hedgehogs is well known throughout the area, and of course when people find a hedgehog, they naturally come to Johanna's house.
Die packen's alleine nicht mehr und dann landen die dann hier bei mir.
People can't seem to manage on their own. They generally end up here. I try and do as much as possible, and I even sacrifice my sleep if I have to. The main thing is that the little hedgehog survives.
Das Igelchen durch, ne?
But you have to be very careful about how you look after a sick or starving hedgehog.
Man hört
Sometimes
jedes Mal,
people
wenn
call me
Leute
to say that they've found a hedgehog, and when I ask them what they've done, they explain that they've given it a piece of apple, so I say that's the last thing you should do.
So, um Gottes Willen, nehmen Sie einen Apfel raus, das gibt Durchfall.
From the end of December, the hedgehogs hibernate until April. They only wake up twice a week to eat. Johanna gives them their favorite meal, canned cat food. She lovingly adds a pick-me-up for the weakest. In this way, she's managed to save hundreds of hedgehogs like Baby, her favorite.
An ihn hänge ich besonders.
I especially love this one. I got him when he was a baby, which is why I call him Baby. He only weighed 65 grams.
60 Gramm, also mit dem kann ich alles machen. Wir beide knutschen. Ja. Und wenn verlangt nach
Today,
mir schreit.
I do everything with him. We have cuddles, and when he sees me, he gives off little cries, like a piglet. During the winter, Johanna looks after the hedgehogs while her husband sees to the house. But with the first days of spring, Johanna sadly sets her little friends free.
Es werden Tränen fließen.
I cry every time, but they have to leave.
Muss laufen, nicht? Das ist nun mal so.
Whoa, that was a close one. Stay up, stay up! Try to balance. Think about something pleasant. Distract yourself. No, too much. Concentrate. These are indeed the boys of summer, the boys who don't mind looking ridiculous, the boys who don't care if every man, woman, and child on the beach is laughing hysterically. And why do they do it? Certainly not for the prize money, not with performances like this. You do a thing for the love of the sport. You just try not to fall this much. It would have been kinder to turn the camera off, but somebody's got to show you what's happening on our beaches today. Launching tarts, disintegrating hot dogs, watermelons, bottles of water, and spitting on people are all part of Gallagher's job. And he's been doing it for 20 years.
Hello, c'est moi, Gallagher. Sorry.
Gallagher is a star in the United States of America. His incredible inventions have, to an extent, contributed to his fame. The square-wheeled bicycle was his idea, and so was the anti-theft door.
This is my idea for your apartment door, so people won't steal your TV. You make a door like this, then you can go in, but the TV can't come out. Voila.
But if Gallagher is famous and can fill show halls in New York and Las Vegas, then it's really because of his unique one-man show. 2 hours of pure madness, but it's organized madness. Gallagher prepares the ingredients for his show meticulously. Ingredients which just a few hours later he will completely destroy, much to the delight of his audience. Once again tonight, the hall is full. The ritual never changes as the spectators conscientiously cover themselves up with large plastic bags. The tension builds. The dreadful food crusher can now come on stage.
After 20 years, I know what they think. They like it. There's two audiences. The ones getting splashed and the ones watching the ones getting splashed.
During the first part of his show, Gallagher prepares his ammunition. In true professional style, he chooses the gooeyest, the stickiest, and the most disgusting foods. Gherkins, melons, mushrooms, cheese, butter, cat food, creamy cakes, all dressed up with maple syrup, ketchup, or egg whites. Nothing's too good for our explosives expert.
That much. Let's make a rocket pie. Let's start with cream corn as the fuel. Then we'll use little baby corns as the rockets set around the edge. So when I smack in the middle, them some bitches go flying. See?
No, Gallagher got his idea for the show while watching a TV ad for a vegetable chopper.
I got 'em! They weren't even looking!
At the time, he was unemployed. He was not to remain so for long.
That far. I'll see you! Give it time! And do you want these hot dogs to go? How far?
I vote that Gallagher is unemployed again. Kungshamn, a small, prosperous fishing port on the west coast of Sweden. Here, more than anywhere else, nature is generous because the people have known how to preserve it. The waters are rich in fish, particularly salmon, the king of fish for the Scandinavians. Everything is good in salmon, except the skin. Generally, they're destroyed by the fishermen or by the transformation factories. No one wants them. Except for one of the women of the region, Ingela Anderson. A year ago, after 3 years' study and research, she set up a company that specializes in tanning salmon skin. Everyone thinks of salmon skin as rubbish. Seeing them throw away these beautiful skins, I thought that we could use them to make things. Today, 4 years later, you can see the result for yourself. Thanks to the advice from Norwegian technicians, Ingela has managed to perfect a technique for tanning salmon skins that is very similar to that used for traditional leather. In order to totally rid the skins of any flesh, they're soaked in water for long periods of time before a bath in wooden drums filled with pumice stones. Then comes the chemical treatment. This step is particularly difficult. The whole secret is to make the salmon skins both supple and resistant, as well as reducing the smell as much as possible. I have to be especially careful when I add the sodium, so I do it in stages. For example, if the pH goes up to 4, the skins become a bluey green. But if I don't put enough in, the pH remains low, and the result is like this skin. The skins can now be dyed the color of your choice. They're then glazed and dried. After 3 days' work, the skins can be worked just like any other piece of leather, but at the end of the day, the technical question is not the most difficult for Christina. The most difficult is convincing fashion designers to use salmon skins to make clothes and consumers to dress in them. Another problem is that salmons are so small, so you need a lot of skins to make an item of clothing, which is reflected in the price. A dress can cost up to $3,000. Hence the need to diversify toward other markets, a point that Christina, Ingela's new partner, has understood perfectly. The product in itself has already been developed. What we're going to do now is promote it and find companies that are interested in this kind of leather. Craftsmen wanting to work with a new material, or large shoe, clothes, or bag manufacturers, for example. I also really fancy decorating fish restaurants because the product goes well with this context. So this year, we're going to have a big advertising campaign for the product as a new leather. Salmon skin has not yet invaded wardrobes, lounges, or cars, but Ingela and Christina's obstinacy and creativity will surely be rewarded. A fashion parade on the port of Kungshamn will end up convincing the most skeptical. Foxy lady in fishy skin. It's what Sweden is all about. Every Sunday, this family roams the roads of France in cars with pedals. The father is a champion, the son is hotly pursuing him, and the mother uses the machine to go and get her bread. What a family! Despite appearances, the Lauvergne family are totally normal. Gerard, his wife Brigitte, and their 2 sons Cédric and Jérôme are, like thousands of other Frenchmen, mad about pedal cars. It all began quite by chance for them 10 years ago, when Cédric took part in a competition to help a friend out. Absolutely delighted, he quickly passed the virus on to his family. Today's a big day. The Lauvergnes are taking part in the French Pedal Car Championship, which takes place in a small neighboring village. Everyone has his preparation routine. Brigitte doesn't change anything. Cédric and Jérôme work on their speed. Everyone has his own car, the Hedgehog for Brigitte, the Tiger for Cédric, and the Aladdin's Lamp for Jérôme and for Gerard. This one here is a coconut made from fiberglass. You know, we spend all our weekends in the basement at home making chassis and creating pedal cars. During the winter, the Lauvergnats work hard on perfecting their racing cars. From April, they crisscross the roads of France to participate in competitions. Each race has the same scenario. First, the competitors present their machines for the technical control that ensures the car's conformity. It's then time for a last-minute tuning before the qualifying heats. Gerard seems more motivated than ever for these championships. As the start approaches, the tension in the village mounts all the more as it's threatening to rain. The choice of tires will be determining. The Lauvergnats only managed average times in the heats. It'll be a close battle on the starting line. And they're off for a 2-hour race. It's a tight race. Once again, all will be decided in the pits. It's all over for this year. The Lauvergnats didn't win, but at least they ended the race on 4 wheels. And with a little luck, we'll see the Lauvergnats pedaling their heads off at NASCAR on the next Wild and Weird AVs. That's amazing videos!